Let's welcome everybody back. It is the 29th of June in 1871. We got 2 games left in June before we get into July. And we got what should be an absolute barn burner of a game tonight. It is the 9-7 Philadelphia Athletics, who are 4-6 in their last 10 games, against the 8-7 Fort Wayne Kekiongas. It's the second place team currently in the American League going up against in the National League in Fort Wayne, going up against hosting the third place team in the American League in the Philadelphia Athletics. The Cleveland Forest Cities have thrown themselves right in the mix in that American League. Fort Wayne is trying to hang on. There's been a slip up from the Chicago White Stockings at the top. And Fort Wayne looking to capitalize by grabbing a 9-7 record if they can get the win here tonight. Welcome in, Pat Witz. So with the 3-stream watch streak, what's good, man? Great to see you, dude. How was your nap, by the way? Because I saw your stream was on and you had texted on it. It was like, I'm going for a nap, and then that nap quickly turned into sleep. Still sleeping? Nice. Get yourself a cup of coffee, man. Right. Let's go through your starting lineups. We're going to begin with the visiting Philadelphia Athletics. John Hadfield, left fielder, will lead things off. He's batting .339 with 7 RBIs so far this season. Scott Hastings, the catcher, bats second. He is batting .265 with 4 RBIs this season. Tom York, center fielder, batting third. 7 RBIs with a .247 average to his name. Ed Pinkham bats fourth. He's got 13 RBIs. .357 is his average so far this season. Dickie Pierce, the shortstop, will bat fifth. He's batting .333. 1 home run, 14 RBIs. Dick Higham bats sixth. Second baseman's got 1 home run, 17 RBIs to his name with a .361 average. Charlie Bierman's the one to watch here. The first baseman, 1 home run, 8 RBIs, only a .259 average, but he is 3 for 4 versus George Zetlin this season. Neely Phelps is in eighth. The right fielder is batting .281. He's got 11 RBIs so far this season. Bobby Matthews, the pitcher, will round things off. He's batting .271. 3 RBIs so far this season. We'll come back for the pitching mound matchup. Let's move over to the starting lineup for the Fort Wayne Kekiongas. Dickie Pierce, the shortstop, leads things off. He's batting .373. He's got 7 RBIs so far this season. Cal Sensendorfer, the center fielder, will bat second. 10 RBIs, .290 is his average this season. Jimmy Wood, second baseman, bats third. He's got 1 home run, 15 RBIs this season, batting .338. Harry Schaefer will bat fourth. He's the third baseman, batting .254 with 5 RBIs. Steve King, left fielder, bats fifth. He's batting with .275 with 9 RBIs this season. Fergie Malone will bat sixth. The catcher is got .226 average, 8 RBIs. Wes Fizzler, first baseman, will bat seventh, .364. He's got 12 RBIs this season. He's also 3 for 4 versus Matthews. He's the one, so the 7 spot hitters, the one to watch here today for both sides. Dave Birdsall is in the 8th spot. The right fielder batting .339, 11 RBIs. Pitcher George Zetlin, he rounds out the order. He's batting .210 with 6 RBIs so far this season. On the mound for Philadelphia is Bobby Matthews, 8-6 record with 2 no decisions, 2.82 ERA with a 1.3 WHIP. He's 0-1 versus Fort Wayne this season with 5 ERA in that game. Right-hander George Zetlin is his opposite number, 8-7 in 15 starts, 3.98 ERA with a 1.41 WHIP. He got the win and 4 earned runs against Philadelphia in the last game. It's a 2:05 first pitch start. There's 928 in attendance, 76 degrees here today. For those of you that use Celsius, that is, I think, 23. Doing the conversion in my head. No, that's 24. That's 24, beg your pardon. Winds blowing left to right at 10 miles an hour. From the Grand Duchess in Fort Wayne, Indiana, we are ready for the start of this game. Very quickly, before we do, little note about the YouTube. The series we did earlier in the week has been uploaded. That is scheduled for the 2nd. There is a game. I had an Action Time and VOD drop 2 days ago, so there's an Out of the Park game dropping tomorrow. Another one dropping February 2nd. This one I will probably upload at some point. There's an Action Time and a VOD wedged in between, so that VOD will be the 5th, and then this game will be the 8th. And if we stream tomorrow, which I'm 50-50 on, I might cancel it. But if we stream tomorrow, then tomorrow's VOD will be up on the 11th. And Sunday we're streaming. But I'm probably going to start with a game of Out of the Park. And that game will go up and probably be dropping on the 14th. So I have them scheduled 3 days apart, and they'll run into when I'm in the Olympics, or when I'm in Italy. So if you missed any games, go check out the YouTube. We got content that's going to be dropping there while I am away. Right. From the Grand Duchess in Fort Wayne, Indiana. We're ready to get underway. George Zetlin on the mound. And here we go. 9-7 versus 8-7. Massive matchup here in the midseason. And here's the first pitch. That's taken on the outside corner for a called strike. It's 0-1 to John Hatfield, who was the man who settled into the batter's box. Here's the 0-1 to Hatfield. Inside. Ball one. It counts 1-1. Right, we're underway, and that means it's time for the shout-outs, by the way. Cavacom is an awesome out-of-the-park WWE 2K24 and Civilization 6 streamer. Give him a follow if you haven't already. The man decided in the middle of a snowstorm to start a perfect team, to play perfect team, and made the World Series. And again, it took so long that he had to shovel in the dark. That was unfortunate. I hope you were all right that day, Cavacom. But give him a follow. He's really good at Perfect Team, and he's got an awesome WWE Universe mode set up that he streams as well. The great Cavacom is our sponsor for our first inning here tonight. Right, it's a 1-1 pitch. It's a 1-1 count. Here's the pitch to John Hatfield. And that's ripped in toward right. That's a base hit. And Cavacom has got a single. And Philly's got the lead runner. That'll bring up Scott Hastings. Or at least the lead runner on. That'll bring up Scott Hastings. Here we go. Runner on first, nobody out. First pitch. He's bunted that down the third base line. Fair balls, it's called. The throw over to first is not in time. And he's beaten out on an infield single. Now, does that count as a hit? That's got to count as a hit, right? Yeah, it counts as a hit. It's recorded as a hit. So, because I know on a sack, it's a little bit different on whether it counts as a hit or not. The rules around a sack are. But yeah, back-to-back hits. 2-1, nobody out. That brings up Tom York, center fielder. Here's the first pitch to York. Swung on and missed. That's 0-1. Here's the 0-1. That's lined into left. Left fielder's there. He makes the play. Good throw. No tag up. And that'll be the first out of the inning. Ed Pinkham gets into the batter's box. First pitch to Pinkham. And that's going to get by the catcher. That's a pass ball. Hatfield gets to third. Hastings goes to second. And now second and third, one out. Here's the 1-0. That's a called strike. That gets by the catcher. The throw home safe. And Hatfield has scored. Catcher Fergie Malone dropping two pitches that he's let run to the backstop. Going to third is Hastings, and Philly have taken a 1-0 lead. Here's the 1-1. That's a called strike. It's 1-2. The 1-2. Ripped into left, but playable. It's caught for the out. Is it going to be a tag up? It looks like it is. And he does. It's a sac fly. And an RBI for Ed Pinkham as Hastings comes around to score. And Philly's taking a 2-0 lead. Here's Dickie Pierce, the shortstop. First pitch to him. That's inside, ball one. Here's the 1-0. And he's popped this into right. And the right fielder's there to make the catch. That's Dave Birdsall, and the side is retired. 2 runs on 2 hits. They don't leave anybody on base. We're going to go to the bottom of the first. And it's 2-0 Philadelphia. We're going to take ourselves, we're going to take the full 180-second timeout. We're going to take the full 3-minute timeout. We'll be back with more in a minute. In 3 minutes. Are you not going to all right, am I going to have to manually? Hold on. I thought I was going to replay. Thomas! I was expecting it to replay when I came on this screen. Thank you for the sub, Thomas. You're insanely kind. Screw you ads. Hope all is well, Benny. All is well. Little nervous for the trip, but all is well. I hope you're doing good, Thomas. All right, here's Bobby Matthews on the round. This is right at the third baseman. That's the first out. That was literally Dickie Flowers. First pitch, first out. And he's absolutely hooked that into the third baseman who just Ed Pinkham was over there cheating the line, and it went right to him, and he just right there. Still not great, to be honest. Yeah, I get it, man, but you know, I keep wishing things will improve, and I'll be sure to keep you in my prayers and whatnot. And yeah, man, I just hope things improve, man. So, and I hope you find the job you want as well. I know you were hunting, or looking at least, right? So, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, man. How's that going, by the way? The job search. I don't envy anybody who's got a job search at this moment in time. Good Lord. Center fielder Count Sensendorfer will settle in. Nobody on, one out. Here's the first pitch to Sensendorfer. Swung on and missed. That's 0-1. Yeah, shit. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, the job market is so skewed to the employer right now. It's unbelievable. Here's the 0-1. That's a called strike on the outside part of the plate. It's 0-2. Here's the 0-2. Outside, 1-2. The 1-2 pitch. Inside, ball 2. It's 2-2. Here's the 2-2. He's popped this straight at the center fielder. That's still traveling. It's off the wall. It didn't sound like he got great contact on it, but it's a double from Sensendorfer, who almost drove it over the wall in straightaway center. And now 1-1 out for Jimmy Wood, the second baseman. Here's the first pitch to Wood. That's outside, ball 1. Here's the 1-0. When does your holiday start? Pretty soon, right? I fly out on Wednesday. Tuesday, I drive to my brother's. Wednesday, I wake up. I take a Uber from his to the airport, and I leave for Italy on Wednesday. So, here's the 1-0 pitch. That is popped up into left center. Still traveling. That one's deep. That one's off the wall as well. This one could be a triple. The throw, no cutoff man. He gets in sliding, and Jimmy Woods got an RBI triple. And back-to-back deep fly hits has allowed Sensendorfer to score, and it's 2-1. Exciting. A little nervous, to be honest with you, but I actually found out something I need today. So I'm going to order it tomorrow and order it overnight. But I need my meds. I don't have medicine. I have like a bottle, but it's only good. It's only a 14-day bottle. So if you think about it, right? A 14-day bottle gets me to what, February 12th? I'm in Italy until, I don't land home until the 24th. So yeah, probably need. Yeah, I finished a bottle today, threw it out, and then I'm like, wait a minute, I only have one bottle left. This isn't good. So, yeah, I'll have to get them. I've never been on a plane before. I've been on a few. I don't mind them. Right, here's Harry Schaefer, third baseman. Runner on third. 1 out. First pitch, he's grounded that right to second. He'll go to first for the out, but Wood will score, and this game is tied. Here's Steve King, the left fielder. Nobody on, 2 out. Grounded up right at the front. It's through, base hit. And King has a single. That'll bring up Fergie Malone. I just realized I don't have my phone. The catcher. 1 on, 2 outs. And that pitch is taken away for a ball, 1-0. When I went abroad in the past, it was via Eurostar and Coach. Okay. Here's the 1-0. Swung on and missed. That's 1-1. I had to think for a minute. I'm like, I mean, you must have gone abroad, like to Europe, but you know, you can bust around Europe. You can't really bust around the U.S. It's extremely difficult to. Here's the 1-1. And that's lined into the backstop. It's 1-2. Here's the 1-2. Inside, ball 2. Here's the 2-2. That is rocketed right at the right fielder, and he makes the grab, and the side is retired. 2 runs on 3 hits, and they leave 1 aboard. We go to the top of the second. It's a 2-2 ball game. Due up first for the Philadelphia Athletics, second baseman Dick Higham. Yeah, France to Germany, then to Poland, Czechia, then back to Germany and France, then back to England. Yeah. I drove to Canada. Well, I didn't drive. I was young when we went, but we drove to Canada. Oh yeah, and I stopped in Belgium as well. Nice. But when I went to Dallas in 2022, I flew, and I did Philly to Atlanta, Atlanta to Dallas, and then the same, reverse back, Dallas to Atlanta, Atlanta to Philly. That wasn't too bad, except the plane got delayed on the way back. So like my flight out of Dallas was 10 o'clock. Or no, it was 9. And I was going to land in Atlanta at 12 and take a 4 o'clock plane to Philly and land in Philly at 6:30. And my plane in Dallas got delayed to 10:30. So I didn't land in Atlanta until 1:30-ish. And I was like, right, I still have the 4 o'clock plane to take. But then the 4 o'clock plane got delayed all the way to 10 p.m. And then I didn't land in Philly until about half past midnight. And by the time I got to my brother's, I was like, I can't drive home. I gotta crash here for the night. It's freaking 1 a.m. So, yeah. Absolutely crazy. But I drove to Atlanta in 2021, and I told myself, never again. Never. I will never go on a road trip. Never. Driving to Boston was bad, but it wasn't too bad because that was a 6-hour drive. So, like, 6-hour drive is like, it was a 6 to 7 hour drive. It was only a 7-hour drive because Boston traffic is fucking atrocious. But that wasn't too bad. Like, it was, I think I did 7.5 in, but got the return leg done in 6 1/4. So, like, that wasn't too bad, right? But Atlanta was bad because that was it took me 13.5 hours each way in the car. And on the way down, I stopped in every state. How about them Patriots? I went up to Boston. Now you're going to make me get my phone. I'll be right back. What's really insane, is that this is already, and I mean already 8 years old. But uh, let me see if I can find the actual photo. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I took this on an iPhone 8, so the quality's not that great. Actually, this might have been my iPhone 6 or 5 at the time, but let me get the camera working. Hold on. Let me go into camera settings, configure video, and go to focus, and unclick auto. And you guys are I'm gonna get out of focus, but that is Cloud9 lifting the CS:GO Major Trophy. It's the only time the Americans have ever won a Counter-Strike Major, and it was at Agganis Arena in 2018, in January 2018 too. That's what I went up to Boston for. A fucking great tournament. I mean, the grand final is just pure cinema. Even if you don't like Counter-Strike, like if you're not a big Counter-Strike guy, like that grand final was knife edge stuff. I mean, the Americans had to come from 15, what was it, like 15-9 or 15-10 down just to force overtime on the last map. And then the last map went double OT. And the Americans had 3 chances to win it in the first overtime and lost all 3 chances. And the final round of the first overtime was a 1v2 clutch. Like it was insane. It was actually insane. Like, Americans had to run 6 rounds in a row on match point just to force OT. Then they get 3 rounds, right? They're up 18-15. The Europeans fight back. They get it to 18-17. The Americans have a 2v1 to win the major, lose it. The Europeans force double OT. And then the Americans won 22-19, I think it was, in double OT. It was like insane. It was just so knife edge stuff. It's probably the craziest esports event I ever went to. But yeah, I drove up to Boston by myself to do that. And oh my God, was it worth it. Like, insane. And you know what the crazy thing is? You want to know what the really stupid crazy thing is? It was like a really unseasonably warm weekend. That weekend. Like the one, I think the day of the final, it was like, now we're talking Boston, 3rd weekend of January, okay? And like it was like 20 degrees or like 19 degrees. And I was like, what the hell's going on? Like it was a really odd weekend where, yeah, it was literally anywhere from like 15 to 19 degrees from Friday through Monday. And I was like, this is crazy. Like, this is genuinely crazy. So, but yeah, what a great event. So like, that wasn't too bad because that was a 6-hour ride. But the one to Atlanta I did in 2021, like, bro, it is supposed to be cold and snowy most of the time. The one in Atlanta, I went down for one reason and one reason only in Atlanta. Let me see if I can find it. Was it 20? No, it wasn't 22. It was 2019. Oh my God. Really? 2019? Has it been that long since I've been to Atlanta? It's been that long since I've been to Atlanta. Oh my God. I gotta open the camera settings again. So, to be, I can't believe it's been 7 years since I've been to Atlanta. Jesus, holy moly. I went to Atlanta for one thing and one thing only. Away day. Away day in Atlanta. Now, this is obviously before the game started. That's why the seats are empty. But yeah. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. A Mercedes. That's Mercedes-Benz from the inside. So that Union, yeah, Union away day. So I went with four friends. So we had the shirts made from that one Discord. You guys have seen the shirt that I wear, the pink one that has Patreon as the sponsor. The guy on the far, it would be your far right, is another guy from that Discord that got the shirt. So me and him went to the game. The guy on the far left is my good friend Cody. He's in here sometimes. He goes by Crazy Surfer Dude. And then the lady in the middle is Starry Bun, who is the Valorant streamer that I sometimes raid. She's a good friend of mine, and we went to that game. So yeah, that was a good time. That was a really good time. So that was 2019. But I drove to Atlanta, and that was 13 and a half hours. And when it was like Dallas in 2022 that I was going to, and that was like you could drive 22 hours or you could fly. I was like, I'm fucking flying, mate. I ain't doing that bullshit again. I'm flying, right? Since we're showing photos and memories, I might as well show 2022, right? Because I talked about that trip. I've been to ESL1 New York a couple times as well. But New York, I took the train. I would just take the train up and probably, it's literally take the Amtrak train from Lancaster up to New York and then grab the subway in New York over to Brooklyn, because the Amtrak train lands you at Madison Square Garden. So, and then, from Madison Square Garden, take the subway over to Brooklyn and just pop into the hotel, which was nice. But the 2022 trip, it would have been June 22, right? Or was it 21? It might have been 2021. Oh, fuck. Was it 2021? Don't tell me it was 2021. I don't remember this shit. I can't even find the photos. What the fuck? It wasn't 2020. It was definitely post-COVID. It was definitely post-COVID. And I want to say it was July 2020. But I can't seem to find it. Oh, well. It wasn't 2023. Because it might have been 2023. Oh, shit. It was 2023. It was 2023. God, was that recent? I thought it was a little bit longer. But the 2020 trip, not that I'm showing off for any reason, I'm not, but why did it not scroll the focus all the way? God damn it, camera. I went to watch the ESL Impact Finals down there. That was DreamHack Dallas. And that's the trophy. I had a front row seat. So, I had the co-commentator who did that, B-Dog. He knew of me because I always would commentate like the regular season for Impact. I commentated the regular season for Impact, and he did the playoffs and the final, right? And he hated the uwu. The whole gimmick was we were trying to get him to say it on camera. So I had a giant sign that said B-Dog Uwu, and then whenever they panned the crowd, I just held the sign up trying to get him to say it, and he almost slipped. And his co-commentator was like nudging him. She was like, "What's that sign say?" Or "Who's that in the crowd with that sign?" And he didn't budge. He never budged. I was like, "Fuck, man." We were trying to troll the shit of. Oh, good times, great times. Right. Let's get back into the baseball, shall we? We got Dick Hingham in the batter's box. It's a 2-2 game. And here's the first pitch to start the second inning. I hope you other guys don't mind the trip down memory lane, right? I've got so many stories and I love telling them. I'm a storyteller, really. So I love telling that stuff. Here's the 1-0. And he's hit him. He's plunked him. And Dick Hingham is hit by the pitch. He'll take first base for free. And now 1 on, nobody out for Charlie Bierman, the first baseman. I have so many. There are so many stories from esports days. It's insane. Both as a player, like way back, and as a commentator, like Morning Betty had me almost 2 a.m. Hludu! What's good, man? I'm sorry you can't sleep, dude. I'm sorry that you can't sleep. Bobby FCG, by the way, I saw you come in, man. Good to see you. I hope you're well, bro. I haven't ignored you. What's going on, Bobby? All right, Benner's all right, Bobby. Yeah. I'm pissed, man. I've been in bed for 3 hours. Yeah, I'm doing all right. Good, man. Good. Yeah, I hate those nights when you're in bed you can't fall asleep. I thankfully haven't had that issue, and I don't think I will tonight. Mainly because I was up at 6 a.m. and it's already 8 almost 9 o'clock. Right. Here's the first pitch to Charlie Bierman. Any fucking chance, Heindo? That's going to be low for a ball. The throw to second. They got him. They gunned him down. He's been caught stealing. What's good, Heindo? How are you, man? How'd the GTA RP go, man? Here's the 1-0 to Bierman. Grounded over to second. That throws on to first. It's in time. And Bierman is sat down. I haven't gone to bed yet. It's nearly 2 a.m. May buy that Halo game next week. Is that a Kermit sipping tea? That's a great emote. That's a great emote. Bagpipes. Just automatically bagpipes whenever Heindo appears in chat. Right, here's Neely Phelps. Bought a $2 million house. Rico the gang took a selfie with the other judges in their block and sent it to the paper. I like that. Can we make it happen? What? Can we make what happen? Oh, I don't know. Yeah, that's good. Auto bagpipes. Honestly, if I ever do figure out how to work Mix It Up Bot, absolutely. Grace was so kind to tell me to show me Mix It Up Bot and be like, oh, yeah, here, this will do it. And I'm like, great. But then I watch her stream and I see all the issues she has, like troubleshooting shit some of the time. And it's not her fault. Like, something will break, whether it's sound alerts or Mix It Up Bot or something else. And it's like, it gets annoying. So I'm like, I notoriously don't like to have a lot on my stream going on because I don't want to have to fucking troubleshoot shit when it goes wrong. Yeah, same here. Like, if I can run it through Stream Elements, great. You know? But, like, Stream Elements and Sports Score Bot is kind of all I want / need. Right, here's the first pitch, too. Neely Phelps. He's grounded that over to second. That's on to first. That's in time, and the side is retired. No runs, no hits, nobody left on base. We're going bottom second here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And it's 2-2. Also, it's 5 weeks till race week. Let's go. It's also about 5 weeks till the... No, it's less than, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. It is 4 weeks, Heindo, until the start of the football season. I'm so excited, baby. Right, we're going to take a timeout, a 90-second timeout. We'll be back with more in a minute and a half. Right, welcome back. What football? The Philadelphia Union season starts in 4 weeks. It's near the Super Bowl and we're like 3/5 through. No. The Union starts in 4 weeks, and it's not even MLS. It's the Champions League. Our first Champions League game is literally 4 weeks from tonight. So we got Defense Force FC from Trinidad and Tobago in 4 weeks' time. So, Tom, the Patriots fan, man, congrats on making the Super Bowl, bro. Love the retro MLS logo. Reminds me of FIFA 11. Yeah, I like it too. The new one's grown on me, the Shield one, because I like how that customizes to the team's colors. But there ain't nothing like that old logo, though. Right, Wes Fissler will settle in, the first baseman. First pitch to him here. And that's lined right at the shortstop who grabs it. He's got it. That's the first out. Only OGs remember Chivas of USA. Yeah. You know that picture I showed you with the 4 of us in Atlanta? And I said the guy on the far left was Crazy Surfer Dude, a good friend of mine. Him and I call LA Scum C Chivas 2.0. So, speaking of Super Bowl, who you got, Benny? Patriots or the Seahawks? I got the Seahawks, and I want the Seahawks. No offense, Thomas. Here's right fielder Dave Birdsall. First pitch to him. I thought we were going to go 7-10. Yeah, that's true. That is true. That's inside ball 1. Here's the 1-0. That's lined into center field, but playable. And the center fielder's there. He makes the grab, and that is 2 outs so far. I'm fine. Basically, everyone is rooting against us. Hey, man. Sometimes it be like that. I know, as a Philly fan. Here's pitcher George Zetlin settling in. I actually don't think the Union are going to have a great season. We lost Kai Wagner, which was huge. We lost Mikel Ua, which was huge. I do like the young kid we got. I like the young signings we've made, but we have not signed a player over the age of 20. We've signed one player over the age of 22 years of age. And I'm like, I know that's the Union's prerogative. But, like, I just don't think they're going to do it, man. I think they're going to be too leaky at left back. I think they're not going to score enough. And, yeah, I don't know. I'd like to see, the Champions League campaign is so cooked anyway because we're going to beat Defense Force, or we should beat Defense Force. And if we beat Defense Force, guess who we get in the next round? Club America from Liga MX. And it's like, oh, we have to go play a game in Stadio Azteca? Yeah, that ain't happening, bro. Teams get crushed in there because of the elevation change alone. Like, look at what happened with Vancouver, right? Vancouver last season was playing lights out in the lead up to the Champions League, right? Lights out. They flew into Estadio Azteca, right? They're the best team in MLS at the time. They were top even over us at the time. They fly into Estadio Azteca, right? And they get crushed 5-0. They go on to make MLS Cup, by the way. They're not a bad team by any stretch of the imagination. You know why? Because they went from literally sea level to 8,200 feet. And those players' bodies were not built for that, you know. Whereas they're playing a team that's just basically at the end of their season, where they're going to be the most match sharp and match fit, right? Because they've been playing all season and are used to playing in that environment at that altitude. Yeah, no chance, no chance. So. Here's George Zetlin. First pitch to George Zetlin. And that's inside, ball one. I mean, win or loss, I'm still proud of us. Yeah, I mean, it's been a really good season for you guys no matter what, right? Like, it's phenomenal that you got here. Here's the 1-0. Inside, 2-0. That's kind of how I reconciled losing to the fucking Pigeons in the playoffs, although we battered them and didn't score. Are going to do shit because we always do. Yeah, it's the ownership is the problem there, isn't it? Here's the 2-0, and that is grounded to the backstop, 2-1. Here's the 2-1. Grounded over to first. Oh, no, it's an error. And reaching via an E3 is George Zetlin. It'll be Charlie Bierman credited with the error. And now 1 on, 2 out. Here is the throw over to first, and runners back in time. Here's the first pitch. That's a called strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. High, ball one. The 1-1 throw over to first, and the runner is back in time. The 1-1 check swing. They look at third. He didn't go. 2-1 now. Here's the 2-1 throw over to first, and runner's back safely. Here's the 2-1. That's grounded to the backstop again. It's 2-2. Here's the 2-2. Throw over to first, and the runner's back in time. 2-2 is shot into right, base hit. Zetlin stops at second, and Dickie Flowers has got a single. From Maccabee Television. I did see that, yeah. The ones I think that have really tried this offseason to improve have been DC has spent a bit of cash. They're trying. It pains me to say this, but Miami got even better. Like, okay, yes, they lost, Jordi Alba and Sergio Busquets, I think, right? One or both of them they lost to retirement. But Minnesota dropped the ball and let Dane St. Clair, the goalkeeper of the year, walk out of the club on an expired contract. And who did he go to? Inter Miami. So, like, Miami literally has Messi, Suarez, really good youth, because they got that one striker that scored like 8 goals when he started playing in Suarez's place, like second half of the season. He tore up the playoffs. I know that. I can't remember his name. It's going to kill me. But, yeah, he tore up the playoffs from Miami. They got him. He's like 22. And then they just got the goalkeeper of the year, who's only like 26, maybe 27 years old. So, like, in his prime. And I'm like, fuck. So I have a feeling Miami's just going to take it to the league for another year or two. Here's the first pitch to Count Sensendorfer. That's back up the middle, base hit. Sensendorfer's aboard. Flowers gets to second. Zetlin goes to third. Bases are loaded now. 2 for 2 for Sensendorfer. Now that brings up Jimmy Wood, who had the triple. Here's the first pitch. That's high, ball one. Here's the 1-0. That's in there for a called strike. It's 1-1. The 1-1, that is popped up into right. That's playable. And the fielder's there. He makes the grab, and the side is retired. No runs on 2 hits. They leave the bases loaded. We go top third. It's still a 2-2 ball game. Pitcher Bobby Matthews will be due up first for Philadelphia. I forgot to do it in the second inning, so I'm going to do it now. Skull Crusher is a football manager and Fall Guys and a whole bunch of different game streamer. Fun guy to talk to. Give him a follow if you haven't already. The ever so excellent Skull Crusher is our sponsor for tonight's third inning. Right. Oh, yeah, I know. Yep, absolutely. And still, Jerry Jones is the worst manager. That's the crazy thing. The NFL is filled with senile managers. Jerry Jones, Al Davis, but I think didn't he die and somebody else is taking the franchise now? And Robert Kraft. Right, here's the first pitch to Bobby Matthews. That's a called strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Outside, ball one. He might be senile, but yeah, Jerry Jones is the worst. I love it. The 1-1 is low, 2-1. I love the fact that he owns the Cowboys because it means as long as he's owner, they're just going to be shit. Oh, he died. Oh, my God. He's been dead for 20. Okay. He's been dead for 15 years. Okay. Here's the 2-1. Grounded over to short. The throw one to first is in time. That brings up the top of the order, John Hatfield. Singled his first at bat. Here's the pitch. Ripped it right back up the middle, base hit. And Hatfield's aboard for the second time this afternoon. That brings up George Zetlin. He also singled his last at bat. Here's the first pitch. I'm sorry, that's Scott Hastings that he brings up. The throw over to second is not in time, and Hatfield has stolen second base. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Scott Hastings. Swung on and missed. That's 1-1. I forgot to record the error earlier, by the way, so there it is. Oopsie daisy. Here's the 1-1. Inside, 2-1. The 2-1. Inside, 3-1. The ball gets by the catch. It's the third passed ball for Fort Wayne. Fergie Malone having all sorts of problems at the plate tonight. Or behind the plate. Here's the 3-1. That's a called strike at the knees. It's 3-2. The payoff pitch. Grounded over to third. Third baseman's there, comes up. It's a bad throw. It's a very bad throw. It's an extremely bad throw. It's an E5 that gives Hastings second base. Harry Schaefer gets credited with the error. Hatfield will come in to score, and Philly have retaken a lead. It's 3-2. Right. Runner on second and just one out. Tom York settles in. He flied out the left his first at bat. Here's the first pitch. And that gets by the catcher. This is a nightmare performance from Fergie Malone. That is the 4th passed ball, and we're only in the 3rd inning. Reminds me of prime 2010 West Ham. I know. That was the year we came back up. No. That was the year we went down, I think. I think we went down in 10, came up in or spent 11 in the championship, and came up in 12. Is what it was. Something like that. Because FIFA 12 was the last FIFA game I bought, and West Ham were in the championship in that game. Right, here's Tom York. The 1-0 pitch. Inside, ball 2. The 2-0. That's a called strike. It's 2-1. The 2-1 pitch. Grounded over to first. He'll step on the bag himself to get the out, but it is going to be an RBI ground out. As Hastings hurries home, it's 4-2. And it brings up Ed Pinkham. He had a sac fly his first at bat. Here's the pitch. Prime Jonathan Spector. Oh, my God. That's fouled off. It's 0-1. That season we came back up was a lot of fun, though. I mean, we had Carlton Cole. We had Ricardo Veste, Winston Reed. They were all scoring in some capacity. That was fun. Then we got Enter Valencia in shortly after. And then in came Sacco and there was another guy. Another national team player for an African nation. Not Sacco. I don't remember. Maiga? No. No, we did have Maiga, yeah, but he wasn't good. This guy was all right. It was like a scoring tandem between him and Sacco, but he was like a winger or maybe a attacking midfielder. I can't remember. I cannot remember. We had Payet shortly. Remember? Oh my God, we were, yeah, we were good back then. Oh, the days. Here's the 0-1. That's grounded foul to be 0-2. The 0-2 pitch. And that's flied into left. That's going to drift foul. It'll stay 0-2. I know, and then he let his ego get to his own head. But we had Nolan and Noble in the midfield as well. That's inside ball 1. Yeah, UC Uskalainen was our goalkeeper back then. Oh, my God. Here's the 1-2. That's grounded foul again. Stays 1-2. The 1-2. That's low. 2-2. The 2-2. Outside ball 3. I started to like West Ham in Payet era. Yeah. I just hope we don't go down this season. I know. Here's the full count pitch. And that is popped into center, playable, right at the center fielder. He's got it. And the side is retired. 2 runs on just 1 hit. And they leave 1 aboard. We go bottom 3rd. It's a 4-2 game for Philadelphia. Harry Schaefer's due up first for Fort Wayne Kekiongas. He's 0 for 1 with an RBI. He likes West Ham too. Yeah, West Ham is a little bit more popular. Real quick before we go to break. Usually, I remember him at West Ham and Bolton. Yeah, when Sam came in, he brought in a lot of those Bolton guys. Like Nolan and UC Jaskalainen. But he was a good keeper. Was Jaskalainen. West Ham is a pretty like this is why I say like West Ham is one of the bigger clubs in the Prem. Like when you think about it, right? There's the big six, right? But like who would be the next grouping outside of the big six in the Prem, right? It's probably in all honesty Newcastle, Villa, and West Ham are in that conversation, right? Like without a shadow of a doubt, right? Um, you can make an argument for Wolves, but they can't seem to stay up. Uh, you can make an argument for, I mean, I guess now Crystal Palace. They never used to be. Remember, 30 years ago, Palace were kicking around in like League Two, right? Everton's a great shout. Yeah, Everton. Yeah, this will be the next big club. Yeah, I mean Newcastle looked like that's it. But like, yeah, if you had the big six, and you would say what's the next six, it's got to be Newcastle, Villa, Everton, West Ham. But I mean, there's still a huge following in the U.S. for Everton. Um, and then outside of that, it's got to like Palace have got to be in there because Palace have been in the Prem for the better part of like 15 seasons now. And I don't know who else you put it. I would argue before they went down, I would argue Sunderland could have been in that conversation, but they spent almost 10 years out of the Prem, you know. And they finished. How many times did they finish fifth or sixth under Moyes? You know, not even this spell of Moyes. Not even this spell of in the original spell of Moyes. You know, they were always the best of the next, right? Um, but yeah, there's two really big groups on the East Coast for West Ham. The DC Hammers are huge, and the New York Hammers are huge, right? The DC Hammers have about maybe 50 to 60 members, I want to say. The New York Hammers have anywhere from 60 to 100 members. And then there's the Philly Hammers, which is like 15 guys and gals. So, yeah, that's true. Yeah, big club. Um, so, but if you had to pick six more, I don't know who that sixth team is. Palace, West Ham, Villa, Everton, Newcastle. I don't want to say Brighton. Brighton have never really been a Prem quality. It's not Bournemouth, that's for sure. It's not Burnley. It's not. It can't be Wolves because they can't stay up. It can't be Leeds. It used to be Leeds back then. Um, you know, until they ran themselves financially aground. Um, Leeds were huge. So, I mean, you could say Forest, but it's been a long. I mean, they are a far cry from the '70s Forest, the Brian Clough Forest. I don't know who else, but yeah. Right, we're gonna take a 90-second timeout. We'll be back with more in a minute and a half. Ryan, welcome back. You know what I just realized, by the way? Sheffield Wednesday still hasn't gotten out of negative points. They are 1-8-19. They have negative 7 points. You know what the other thing too is? I don't really like any of the teams that like are set to come up via the playoff. Like Middlesbrough is all right. Coventry, I kind of want to see back in the Prem, so that would be cool to have Coventry back. But like Ipswich Town, you guys had your fun. Uh, what's up, Christo? I've been to Sheffield before, but not any stadium. Fair. Hull City would be nice for Dave. I don't mind Hull. Millwall, absolutely fucking not. And Wrexham, no. I'm so sick of having Wrexham shoved down my throat everywhere. Like, the teams within 3 points of the playoff places, give me Derby. And then if it's not Derby, give me Preston. And if it's not Preston, then give me Bristol City or Stoke. Like, going to boost both clubs? No. Right, let's get back into it. Bottom third. Welcome in, Christo. I always want. We need prime Stoke ball back in the. Yeah, I'm with you there. Although I would love to see Derby get a second chance. You know. No, I don't want Millwall. I've always wanted that rivalry to be an FA Cup rivalry where West Ham are always a division above. Always. I want Millwall down. I want them to go down even further. Here's Harry Schaefer settling in. RBI ground out his first at bat. That's going to be taken for a call. Strike, it's 0-1. Here's the 0-1. That's lined into right. Base hit. And Schaefer's aboard. Nobody out. It brings up Steve King. He singled his last at bat. Yeah. Here is the first pitch. He'll throw over to first, and the runner is back safely. Here's the pitch. And it's going to drift foul into the seats. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Foul down the third base side. It's 0-2. Here's the 0-2. Grounded over to second. Can they get it? They go to second base. Did he get him? He got him. It's in time. So they'll take the lead runner in Harry Schaefer. King is aboard first. And 1 on, 1 out. That brings up Fergie Maloney. Flied out to right his last at bat. Throw over to first, and the runner is back safely. Here's the first pitch. That's a called strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1. Grounded over to third. The throw on to second for 1. On to first in time. Double play. 5-4-3 double play, and the side is retired. No runs on one hit. Nobody left on base. We go top fourth here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. The Athletics lead 4-2. New inning means new sponsor. Patwitz is the Philippines' greatest streamer, F1 manager, FM24, Apex Legends. Give him a follow if you haven't already. The ever so excellent Patwitz is our sponsor for tonight's fourth inning. Right. Dickie Pierce settles in to lead things off. 5, 6, 7 spot hitters to start the inning. Here's the first pitch from Zetlin. Grounded over to short. That's on to first in plenty of time, and that'll be the first out. That'll bring up Dick Hagem. He was hit by the pitch his last at bat. First pitch to him. Grounded. That's fair. And that's going to go into right field. The throw over to second is not in time. And Hagem has got a double. Charlie Bierman's the next batter. He grounded out his last at bat. Here's the first pitch, and that's high, ball one. Fulham would have been my pick for next biggest club, by the way, the next six. Here's the 1-0. That's lined into center, base hit. Although traditionally Fulham aren't really a big club. They're not small, but they're not like huge. Craven Cottage must be so awesome to visit, by the way. Bierman's aboard with a single. Hagem goes to third. And now it's runners on the corners with one out. Neely Phelps will settle in. He grounded out his last at bat. You know, the medicine I talked about earlier, by the way, it's a heartburn suppressant, essentially. And I could have sworn I took it this morning, but I was so busy because I had to make sure I got out of the house on time to go get the haircut and everything. So earlier this afternoon, I was like, did I take it? I thought I took it. And then right around 5, 6 o'clock, I was like, oh, shit, no, I didn't take it. And I could feel it. So I took it. But it takes hours and hours to kick in. So I'm over here. I'm in that period where I expect it to kick in within the next hour or two. But boy, am I suffering until then. Oh my God. Right, and here's the first pitch to Neely Phelps. He's grounded that foul. Here's the 0-1. Back up the middle to the mound. The throw, they're going to go to second. Did they get him? They got him. And that's the second out. So fielder's choice, 1-6, actually. Hagem does not score on the play either. And so now runners on the corners with 2 outs for Bobby Matthews. He grounded out his last at bat. Here's the first pitch to Matthews. He's popped it up right at the shortstop. Shortstop's there. He makes the grab, and the side is retired. No runs, 2 hits, 2 men left on base. We go middle of the fourth, bottom fourth here in Fort Wayne. It's a 4-2 Philadelphia lead. I'm on the wrong tab. We are going to take a 90-second timeout. We'll be back with more in a minute and a half. All right, welcome back. Bottom fourth, it's the 7, 8, 9 spots. 2 up. Wes Fistler will settle in. He lined out to short his last at bat. First pitch to him. That's low, ball 1. Here's the 1-0. That's lined into left, base hit. And Fistler's got a leadoff single. Fort Wayne maybe could build off that. Much needed. They're down by 2. Philly 9-7. Fort Wayne 8-7. Here's Dave Birdsall. He flied out to center his last at bat. Here's the first pitch to Birdsall. Swung on and missed. That's 0-1. And the 0-1. Swung on and missed. 0-2. Here's the 0-2 pitch. He takes that low, ball 1. The 1-2. Swung on and missed. He struck him out. 1 away. That brings up George Zetlin, the pitcher. He reached via an error his last at bat. Here's the first pitch. That's popped up. Playable down the first base line. First baseman's there. He makes the catch. And that's 2 away. That's going to bring up Dickie Flowers. 1 for 2. The first pitch to Flowers. Inside, ball 1. The 1-0, that's a called strike. It's 1-1. The 1-1. That's lined into center. Playable. Center fielder's there. He makes the grab. And the side is retired. No runs on 1 hit. And they left that man on base. We go to the top of the 5th. Philadelphia holding on to that 4-2 lead. Top of the order due up for Philadelphia. I'm trying to see where Luke does not Lou Hlu have an underscore at the end of his name. I can't remember. God, I can't remember. And now I'm searching my archive for his name. He does not. All right, cool. Right, big shout out to Hlu. He's a Football Manager streamer. He's part of an awesome network save with David Nyholm, KJ Plays, and Ziggurath. Big shout out to him. He is our sponsor. Hludu is our sponsor for tonight's fifth inning. Oh, yeah, I remember you said in someone's chat the other day, it might have been Ziggs, about doing an MLS Network save. That would be the goal. I've run into one welcome in, by the way, Stuart. Final Kefka can do the automatically impossible. Wait, Stuart, did you already race? Did you race already? Oh, fuck, you went live at 8, dude. I missed it. Because I was setting up this shit. Well, not setting up. I just got into it. How'd it go? How'd it go, Stuart? I did already. What was the time? What time did you get? So the only problem I've come to realize, Thomas, is that the MLS is still bugged. I forfeited after 2 wipes on Final Kefka. No. Unlucky, Stuart. Unlucky. So unlucky. Raz. You're in the airport to Munich. Nice, man. Travel safe, bro. Get home safe, Raz. Thank you for just popping in. That's fucking that's brutal. I want to do it, Thomas. I do. It's probably going to be an FM 27 thing, dude, because the MLS is still bugged in 26 a little bit. How do you not fix the bug? So you know what they did? So at first the slider wouldn't work for general allocation money. So you couldn't buy down player contracts, right? When you sell a player in the MLS, right? Whether you sell them to another MLS club or outside of MLS, the sale, a percentage of that sale, depending on whether that player was homegrown or not, a portion of that money can be converted into general allocation money, right? And then you use the general allocation money to buy down salary cap impact. I was playing a save earlier where the game said, "Oh, your transfer budget is $16 million." And I'm like, "Great. The transfer budget in MLS is just what your board allows you to pay other clubs for players, right? So if you're Chicago and you go out to another club, let's say FC Twente, and you want to buy a player, like your transfer budget is the $16 million given to go buy players, right? They made the transfer budget the same as general allocation money. So now you walk in and you say, "Oh, your transfer budget's $16 million." The game thinks you have $16 million in general allocation money, which means I can take with $16 million of GAM, I can take any contract I have and buy it down to fucking nothing and just have a shit ton of cap space. You know what I mean? Like, and the point is, you're given $1.9 million by the league at the start of the season, right? The league gives you $1.9 million in GAM, and they give you $9 million in TAM, targeted allocation, when they say, here's your allocation from the league to buy players, and then you can do whatever you want to get more GAM. You can sell players, you can sell player rights, you can sell draft picks, you can sell international spots, whatever it is, right? But if you want more than 1.9 million in GAM, it's on you to go out and acquire it, right? The bug is that whatever the board decides is the transfer budget, it just becomes your GAM. And I'm like, dude, there's no way. There's no way you have 16 million in GAM, because I could literally afford Messi like 20 times over with the contract that he's on right now. You know what I mean? Like there's no way. So I'm looking at that like that's going to be a 27 save, because it's managing your GAM is one of the most integral parts to MLS. Like there's 3 really key parts to MLS: managing your GAM, managing your contract types, because that affects your registration, and the salary cap, right? And they're all kind of interwoven to each other. That's why I like playing in MLS, because it's a challenge. You have to constantly think about what you're doing. Like, you have to really think about who you're signing. So, but yeah, they botched all that up. So I'm like, all right. This is after it was fixed. You couldn't move the slider. You couldn't buy down contracts. They fixed that, and it was good to go. And then you can't now it's just your freaking transfer budget. So well done, Sports and Right. I know. The other crazy thing is I don't see a spot. I didn't see it when I played MLS, which I played recently, but I didn't see a spot for league specific finances. Like, I can't, there's no spot under finances for me to click league specific and see how much TAM and how much GAM I have. I have to go in to try and I have to try and buy down a contract type to see how much GAM I have, and I have to try and sign a player over $750,000 a year to see how much TAM I have. I can't go somewhere in the finances and it tells me that number, which is very annoying. Here's the first pitch to John Hatfield. Start this 5th inning. And he's grounded that over to second. Throw on to first. That's in time. That brings up Scott Hastings. He's 1 for 2. Yeah, that is annoying. Yeah, you know what the crazy thing is? The cell, or I call it a cell, but you know what I mean. The little, whatever, the widget, the pop-up, the little box is there, but it's grayed out, and it says no data. It just says no data. Like, you know how you would say no data on like an error code, like if it was a point of code that was like 404'd, but it just said no. It just said no data _, and the whole box is grayed out. I'm like, great job. Great job. The rules are easy. They take a season to get used to, but it's easy. Once you get used to contract types, bro, it's super easy. That's part of why I wanted to run to save, because I thought if we get a pool of 30 human managers doing MLS, you get people like that want to play it, like say Dill and me and Biz and maybe maybe not Honey Badger, because Honey Badger isn't an MLS guy, but you know, people like that, and people that like, you know, or support an MLS team that know the rules, and then you get 10 people that have never managed in the league who are afraid to, who can come in and be taught how the league operates, and then you get 10 other people who just want to have a good time being a part of a great large network save. And I just think it'd be a great time. You know, can you imagine the entire league humanly managed? And, we would say, listen, this isn't competitive. We're not here to be competitive. We're here to have fun, but it's an opportunity for people to learn what the league is about. Because like people like me who have been in and around, and Biz especially, I know Biz, if Biz is watching, I don't, it would be chaos. But like Biz has been in and around the league. He's been watching the league for so long. Like, I've always watched the league, but I've never delved into the rules and stuff like that or managed in it myself. We would be the kind of people that would be like, we understand why there's rules in place. We understand what waivers are because we've watched MLB and NFL and NHL and all that shit, right? We understand what, a reserve contract signifies, right? In the MLB has reserve contracts. They're called two-way contracts. And it basically means the player from if I have a two-way contract on a Major League Baseball team, it means he doesn't go on waivers if I assign him to AAA. Whereas if you have a one-way contract in the majors and you want to send that player down to AAA, he has to spend a week on waivers, and anybody in the league can claim him. And then if nobody does, then he goes play for AAA. But if you have a two-way contract, you don't have to take that. You don't have to take that risk. So here's the first pitch to Scott Hastings. If Kavacom's still listening and that's incorrect, he could correct me probably because he knows a little bit more about baseball than I do. That's high for a ball, by the way. Want to know, but that's essentially the two-way contract is essentially the reserve contract in MLS. Here's the 1-0. That's a called strike at the knees. It's 1-1. And that's done to protect the player. All that's negotiated by the Players Association to protect the player's interest. Here's the 1-1. That is lifted high and deep into left center. Playable. It hangs up there for a while, and it's caught, and it'll be the second out of the inning. It took me a while, but I understand most of the rules in the NFL now. Yeah. MLS you'll pick it up. Here's Tom York. He's 0 for 2. Does have an RBI, but nobody on, 2 out. Here's the first pitch to him, and he's fouled that into the seats. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1. Called strike 2, and it's 0-2. The 0-2 pitch. That's popped up right at the plate. Catcher's got it. And the side is retired. No runs, no hits, nobody left on base. We go bottom 5th. It's a 4-2 ball game. We're going to take a 90-second timeout. We'll be back with more in a minute and a half. All right, welcome back. Bottom fifth. I forgot it's Thursday, and basically the entire NHL is playing. Here's the first pitch to Count Sensendorfer, and that's off the plate away, 1-0. Sensendorfer 2 for 2, single and a double. Here's the first pitch, the 1-0, and that's right at the shortstop. He's got it, and that's one away. That brings up Jimmy Wood. He's 1 for 2. The 1-2 pitch. Or the first pitch, sorry. That's grounded over towards short. That is an error. It's an E6. Shortstop Dickie Pierce getting credited with the error. It's our third fumbly-wumbly of the game. And there's 1-1 now, 1 out. That brings up Harry Schaefer. He's 1 for 2. Here's the first pitch to Schaefer. That's high, ball 1. The 1-0 pitch in the dirt, 2-0. The 2-0 pitch. That's lined into left, playable. Left fielder there. He's going to make the grab. And that will be out number 2. Steve King due up. He's 1 for 2. Runner on first still. Throw over to first, and the runner's back safely. First pitch is high, ball 1. Lot of speed over at first base on Jimmy Wood. Here's the throw over to first, and the runner is back safely. The 1-0 was swung on and missed. That's 1-1. A 1-1 pitch. High, ball 2. The 2-1 pitch. Throw over to first, and the runner is back safely. The 2-1. Grounded foul. It'll be 2-2. He should have ran. 2-run game. He should have stole. Here's the 2-2. Now he runs. Grounded over to second, and it's an error on the second baseman. It's another fumbly-wumbly. Second baseman Dick Higham getting credited with the error. That brings up Fergie Malone. Malone is 0 for 2. First pitch to him. That's high again, ball 1. Here's the 1-0. Called strike at the lettering, 1-1. Here's the 1-1. Called strike on the outside part of the plate. That's 1-2. The 1-2. Grounded foul. We go again at 1-2. Here's the pitch. Inside, ball 2. 2-2 the count. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Popped up. Is that going to skid there? No. The center fielder manages to come in time, and he's made the catch. That's Tom York. No runs, no hits, 2 men left on base. We go top 6th. It's still 4-2. New inning means new sponsor. Heindo is an awesome GTA 5 RP streamer who's got 2 great characters of Judge Gordon Gramsci, who's also in our FM save, by the way, and Robin Banks. State Trooper Robin Banks. Give him a follow if you haven't already. It's always a laugh over there. The Great Heindo is our sponsor for tonight's 6th inning. Bagpipes. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, fuck's sake. Here you go. Here you go. There you go. This sixth inning sponsored by a deep breath. No, no kidding. I was blazing my way through that seed, and then the final Kefka just ate my lunch. I was putting up times that would win other Moogle Cups that went 1 and 2. Listen, it just means, Stuart, everybody loves a good revenge tour, right? It just means the next Moogle Cup is the DM Stewart revenge tour. Let's make it happen, bro. Sponsored by Iron Brew. I need to have that at some point in my life. I need to order it and have it at some point in my life. Right. Ed Pinkham settling in. He is 0 for 1 so far today. Here's the first pitch to Pinkham. It's the fact that you've improved those, Stuart. That's low, ball 1. You know, your time has gotten a lot better over the course of your practices and whatnot. So, you know, it just means you're going to build a little momentum now. I think I drank it once. It was okay. The DM Stewart Revenge Tour, sponsored by Lagavulin and Balvenie. Balvenie? I don't know what that is. Here's the 1-0. I'm pretty aloof when it comes to things in the world. I'm not going to lie. That's outside 2-0. Here's the 2-0. That's low, 3-0. I forgot to pause the bagpipe video, Thomas, so I just have bagpipes blaring in my ears now. Here's the 3-0. Inside ball 4. And Ed Pinkham draws a walk. Lagavulin, 16-year single, Islay malt Scotch, and Balvenie, 14-year Caribbean cast single malt Scotch. Nice. Right, Dickie Pierce settles in. He's 0 for 2. Runner on first, nobody out. And Pierce bunts that over to third. They're going to go to second. No, he's going to go to deep third. It's a bad throw. It's an E5. Error on the third baseman. That's Harry Schaefer. That's his second of the night. It's another fumbly wumbly. And now it's first and second. Nobody out for Philadelphia. Here's Dick Higham. 0 for 1. First pitch. I'm sorry, 1 for 1. He's grounded that foul. Another one. Well, it definitely was. Here's the 0-1. And that's ripped into right. Is that going to stay fair? No, it doesn't. It goes foul. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That's right. Lined back up the middle. Base hit. And Philadelphia has got the bases loaded with nobody out. Charlie Bierman settles in. He's 1 for 2. Here's the first pitch. Outside. Check swing. They're going to go to third. He didn't go, says the umpire there. 1-0's the count. Here's the 1-0. And that's lined into right. Does that stay fair? No, it lands foul. Here's the 1-1. popped up into the seats, 1-2. The 1-2 pitch. Lined up towards second. They go home. Did they get him? They got him. Over to first. He's safe. So it's going to be a fielder's choice. 4-2. They get the runner at home. Pinkham's retired. Going to third is Pierce. Going to second is Hagan. Bierman takes first. And they survive. They keep the run off the scoreboard for now. For Nearly Phelps to settle in. He's 0 for 2. First pitch to Phelps. That's popped up into left. Is that going to be deep enough? It does not look like it. Caught by the left fielder. It just was not hit deep enough. And they cannot tag up. 2 away now. And Bobby Matthews settles in. 0 for 2 today. The pitcher can give himself some run support. First pitch to Matthews is inside, and it gets by. It's the 5th pass ball of the afternoon. Fergie Malone letting 5 balls go by him. Scoring on the play is Diggy Pierce. Going to third is Dick Higham. Going to second is Charlie Bierman, and Philadelphia's made it 5-2. Here's the 1-0 now to Matthews. That's outside ball 2. The 2-0. Ripped into center, but playable. Center fielder's there. He makes the grab, and the side is retired. 1 run. 1 run on 1 hit, and they left 2 on base. We go to the bottom of the 6th, and Philadelphia has made it a 5-2 game. 7, 8, 9 spot hitters due up for Fort Wayne. We're going to take a 90-second timeout. We'll be back with more in a minute and a half. All right, welcome back. Bottom 6th in Fort Wayne. 7, 8, 9 spot hitters due up, starting with Wes Fizzler. He's 1 for 2. First pitch to him. Off the plate away. I'm sorry, not away. Off the plate inside. And it's 1-0. 1-0 pitch. That's off the plate away, 2-0. The 2-0. That's lined into right. That's way back. It's going to land. That's fair. Is he going to go for 3? He is going to try and go for 3. Is he going to make it? Here's the throw. He's safe. And it's a leadoff triple for Wes Fizzler. And Fort Wayne, what a hit. Can they capitalize? Dave Birdsall settles in. He's 0 for 2. First pitch to Birdsall. Grounded it foul, 0-1. I don't understand who's winning. Philadelphia's winning. This right here is the runs column. That's the actual score of the game. Philadelphia is 5. Fort Wayne is 2. This is the hits column. Philadelphia's got 6 hits in the game. Fort Wayne is at 8. So Philadelphia scored 5 runs on their 6 hits. Welcome in, Zapagio, by the way. The E column is the number of errors the team is committed while fielding. And let's go Philly. I actually need them to win because I'm in the National League and Fort Wayne are a half game ahead of me right now. This stuff right here is literally just how many runs were scored in each inning. So Philly scored 2 in the top of the first. Fort Wayne scored 2 in the bottom of the first. Nobody scored in the second. Philly scored 2 in the top of the third inning. Then nobody scored again until the top of the 6th inning when Philly got 1 run. So this is literally just inning by inning right here. But this is the actual score of the game, 5-2. Right, Dave Birdsall, 0-1 count. If you have any other questions like what this stuff is or anything like, I can answer that too. Here's the 0-1. That's inside ball 1. Here's the 1-1. Swung on and missed. That's 1-2. One-two pitch. That's low and away. 2-2. I'm guessing ball strike. That's absolutely right. Ball strike out. And then the diamond just shows you who's on base. So like there's a runner on third base. So that's all that is. You're absolutely right. BSO is balls, strikes, and outs for the current at bat. Here is the 2-2 pitch. He's chopped that foul. It'll stay 2-2. Here's the 2-2. That's lined right at the shortstop. He's got it. And that's the first out of the inning. George Zetlin will settle in. He's 0 for 2. First pitch to Zetlin. And he's going to take that for a called strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's low, ball 1. It gets by the catcher. The throw is not in time. It's actually a wild pitch from the pitcher. And Fizzler comes home from third on the wild pitch, and Fort Wayne has made this 5-3. The 1-1 to Zetlin. Shot into center. Playable. Center fielder's there. He makes the grab. That's out number 2. I don't know the guy squatting could miss the ball. Yeah. Well, there's two things. It was called a wild pitch, so it was called so erroneous by the pitch, like it was thrown so wild by the pitcher that it was called a wild pitch. You know what I mean? Like if the pitcher throws a ball and it goes over here, it's not really the catcher's fault, is it? If the ball goes over here, he's supposed to pitch it. So it was called a wild pitch. But yes, there is some where the catcher might not block it. It might go off the tip of his glove and it could go to the back. And that's called a passed ball. Because it's a ball that's passed or gotten past the catcher. So it's called a passed ball. Yeah, if the catcher misses, yeah, the runner can run. That's how Philly scored their first two That's how Philly scored their first run in this game. Yeah, they can run. So, for example, Fergie Malone, who is the catcher for Fort Wayne, he's had 5 passed balls tonight. So, yeah, they try to block it because otherwise the runners could just advance a base, you know. Let me see here. Right, the first pitch, it'll be Dickie Flowers settling in. He's 1 for 3. First pitch to Flowers. Swung on and missed. That's 0-1. Here's the 0-1. Outside, ball 1. The even count pitch. That's high, 2-1. The 2-1 pitch. That's lined back up through the middle. Base hit. And Flowers is aboard with a single. That brings up Count Sensendorfer. He's 2 for 3 today. First pitch to Sensendorfer, and that's high, ball 1. The 1-0. That's fouled into the seats. 1-1. How you doing, by the way, Zapaggio? Here's the 1-1. That is a base hit. And Dickie Flowers goes to second. Sensendorfer's aboard. Here is it's Jimmy Wood settling in now. Wood is 1 for 3 himself. Here's the first pitch. That's inside. It gets by. And now that was the catcher's fault because it says passed ball right up there. So that means the catcher failed to stop the ball. And Flowers goes to third. Going to second is Count Sensendorfer. Here's the 1-0. Low, 2-0. The 2-0. That's a called strike on the outside part of the plate, 2-1. The 2-1. He's popped this in the center. It's playable. The center fielder's there. He makes the catch. And the side is retired. 1 run on 3 hits, and they left 2 on base. We go to the top 7th. 5-3 Philadelphia. All right, Pat's redeemed the stretch. Tell you what, Pat. I'm going to refund the stretch. And the only reason I'm going to refund the stretch is because the 7th inning stretch is literally the next half inning. So you get those back, and I'll complete the rest. So, but yeah. Right. Top 7th, new inning, new sponsor. God darn it. I thought I typed that right. Oh, I typed 2 L's. That's right. Oh my, lordy, lordy, lordy. All right, where is he? I gotta find him. Where is he? I had Christo come in here, and I can't. I gotta find his username now. Did he come in before or after Hlu? He came in after Thomas and Hlu. He's a blue username. Apparently, I didn't spell his username right. So, yes, I know you can't hear me that well. It's a lip ribbon microphone. That's Stewart. He came in before Stewart. There he is. Oh, it's two E's. That's what got me. It's two E's on polls. All right. Right, Christo was like a variety streamer. Let's Play an aquarium designer. He's gotten into FM. This is like he's brand new into FM. But he's very much a variety streamer. Give him a follow if you haven't already. Christo is our sponsor for tonight's 7th inning. Right, top of the order due up here for Philadelphia. John Hatfield sets in. He's 2 for 3. Here's the first pitch to Hatfield. And that is ripped into right and over the right fielder's head. This could be a lot of bases. This could be 3. And looking like it. He's going for it. Is he going to get there? It's safe. And it's a triple for John Hatfield. Oh. No, that's right. This is wrong. There we go. That's fixed. There we go. And Philly get the leadoff man on third. That brings up Scott Hastings. 1 for 3 today. First pitch to Hastings is inside, ball 1. Here's the 1-0. That is ripped into right at the right fielder. That should be deep enough to tag up the run. And it will be. It's a sac fly. And an RBI for Scott Hastings. Coming in to score is Hatfield. It's 6-3. Tom York, the next man up. He's 0 for 3. First pitch to York. And he's popped this up in foul territory. Third baseman's right there. He makes the grab. And that's the second out of the inning. And Pinkham will settle in. He's 0 for 1. First pitch to Pinkham. That's a called strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Grounded over to short. The throw on to first. He got him. And that is going to retire the side. 1 run on 1 hit. Nobody left on base. It is 7th inning stretch time here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And Philly lead by a score of 6-3. And we are all, as always, going to play our time-honored tradition. Please enjoy Take Me Out to the Ball Game. We'll be back in 2 with more. You heard the man. We're going to play ball and get into this bottom of the seventh. 6-3 Philadelphia. Harry Schaefer. It's the 4, 5, 6 spots. Due up here for Fort Wayne. You know what I just found out? My parents are in the other room watching the news. The gas station / convenience store that is in town, right? There's a gas station in town. Apparently police are investigating because they found a skimmer. No, it's Turkey Hill. So we don't have a Wawa or Sheets. But hi Benny's parents, yes. But they found a skimmer in the store last month. Now, I don't use the store. My parents don't use the store. We don't really use Turkey Hill. But, yeah, they found a skimmer at the Turkey Hill. If you don't know what a skimmer is, I don't know what else you would call it, or what other name would have. It's something that goes over a credit card reading device. Criminals put it on top of over top of a credit card reading device. And then when people use it to swipe their credit cards, they collect the credit card information. But it also allows, it still allows your transaction to go through. But they steal the credit card information at the same time. It really is the wild, wild west here in the U.S., man. It really is the wild, wild west. You know, we have all sorts of crime. I mean, absolutely everything all across the range. It's nuts. It's fucking nuts here. You have to be crazy to live here. I've been here 38 years. Right. Here's the first pitch to Schaefer. It's a 3-run game here. Schaefer's lined that right at the shortstop. He's got it first down of the inning. That'll bring up Steve King. He's 1 for 3. Here's the first pitch to him. That's a called strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Grounded over to short, and it's a fumbly-wumbly. Shortstop on the error. That's Dickie Pierce getting his second of the game. And reaching via an error is Steve King. One out, one on. Fergie Malone will settle in. He's 0 for 3. First pitch to him, that's inside, ball 1. Here's the 1-0. Grounded over to second. On to first. Safe at first. He's beat the throw. And Malone's aboard. That brings up Wes Fizzler. He's 2 for 3 so far today. First pitch to Fizzler. And he's popped it up. Shortstop's coming in for it. He makes the grab. That's 2 away. Dane Birdsall, the next man up. He's 0 for 3. Here's the first pitch to... Oh, no, it's a substitution. That's grounded foul. Or I'm sorry, it's technically a swinging strike, but still. Right, substitution. I didn't catch that. Dave Birdsall is gone. It'll be Charlie Smith selling. He's 3 for 9 so far this season. Here's the first pitch. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's a ball, and it gets by the catcher. That is a passed ball. So it allows King to go to third. Malone goes to second. And 2 runners in scoring position. 1-1 count. Here's the pitch. That gets by the catcher. That's a pass ball. Safe at home is Steve King. Going to third is Fergie Malone, and it's a 6-4 ball game. The 1-2 pitch. Grounded foul. It'll stay 1-2. The 1-2. That's low. 2-2. Listen. Scott Hastings has got to start catching some of this shit. 2-2. Here's the pitch. Popped up. Third baseman's there. He makes the grab, and the side is retired. 1 run on just 1 hit. They leave 1 on base. We go top 8th. It's a 6-4 game. 5, 6, 7 spot hitters due up for Philadelphia. But new inning means new sponsor. DM Stewart is an awesome speedrunning retro gamer and commentator. He was recently doing Moogle Cup on his stream. Also streaming a few of his practice sessions. Give him a follow if you haven't already. The great DM Stewart is our sponsor for tonight's 8th inning. Right. Dickie Pierce settles in for Philadelphia. Pierce is 0 for 3. Here's the first pitch. And that says 0 for 2, but I have 0 for 3. That's a called strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1. 0-1 is lined into left, base hit. And Pierce is aboard. That's going to bring up Dick Higham. He's 2 for 2. Here's the first pitch to Higham. And he's popped that up right at the second baseman. And he'll make the grab. That'll be the first out. It'll be Charlie Bierman next. He's 1 for 3. First pitch to him. Grounded foul. And we do it again. Here's the 0-1. That's outside 1-1. The 1-1. Lined into right, base hit. Pierce gets to second. Bierman's aboard. 2 on, 1 out now. That'll bring up Neely Phelps. He's 0 for 3. First pitch to Phelps. That's low, ball 1. Here's the 1-0. High, ball 2, and it gets by. It's a wild pitch, so Pierce gets third. Bierman gets second. And here's the 2-0 pitch. Popped up in the infield. Second baseman's there. He makes the grab, and that's 2 away. That will bring up Bobby Matthews, the pitcher. He's 0 for 3. Here's the first pitch to Matthews. He's grounded that over to second. The throw's on to first. That's in time, and the side is retired. No runs on 2 hits, and they left both men on base. We go bottom 8th. 6-4 Philadelphia. It's the 9-1-2 spot. Due up next. We are going to take a 90-second timeout. We'll be back with more in a minute and a half. Welcome back. Bottom eighth. 2-run game. George Zetland settles in. He's 0 for 3. First pitch to him. As he leads things off here in the 8th. That's low. Ball 1. Here's the 1-0. Outside maybe 2-0. The 2-0. Swung on and missed. That's 2-1. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Grounded foul. 2-2. Here's the 2-2. Inside. Well inside. Ball 3. The 3-2. Lined right at the second baseman. He's got it. That's one away. Dickie Flowers settles in. 2 for 4 today. Nope. Wait a minute. Why is there a runner on first? Why is Bierman on first? Have I missed something? Oh, hold on. Oh, Zetland. Box game log, please. What happened? Oh, it's an E4. It was a line drive. I didn't see him drop the throw. I even gave the out single. I didn't see him drop the throw. So it's an E4. Four is the second baseman. That's Dick Higgum with his second of the afternoon. Philly's got 5 now. So it's a base runner. Dickie Flowers at the plate. The 1-0 pitch. Called strike. It's 1-1. The 1-1. Grounded over to second. On to second for 1. Over to first. In time. And it's a double play. 4-6-3 double play, and both runners are retired. There's been so many errors, even the scorer made one. Right, that brings up Count Sensendorfer. He is 3 for 4 today. First pitch to him. That's low, ball 1. Here's the 1-0. Low, ball 2. The 2-0. Foul down the first base side. 2-1. The 2-1 pitch. That's high, ball 3. 3-1 now. That's shot into right, but playable. Right fielder's there. He makes the grab, and the side is retired. No runs, no hits, nobody left on base. We go top 9th. 6-4 Philadelphia. Top of the order, due up. New inning means new sponsor. Raz is an awesome Football Manager streamer. Currently coming back from Germany. He's also the author of the brilliant One Save Multiple Idiots. Give him a follow if you haven't already. Raz De Beer is our sponsor for tonight's 9th inning. It's John Hatfield settling in. 3 for 4 today. Here's the first pitch to Hatfield. He's taking it off the plate away, 1-0. Here's the 1-0. And that's grounded over to third. Throw from deep third. That's in time. First out. That brings up Scott Hastings. He is 1 for 3. First pitch to Hastings. That's lined right at the third baseman who makes the play. And that's 2 away now. Tom York settles in 0 for 4. First pitch, that's a called strike at the knees, 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. It's grounded foul to the backstop, 0-2. The 0-2. Lined into right, base hit. And York is aboard. That brings up Ed Pinkham. He's 0 for 2. First pitch to Pinkham now. That's high, ball 1. It gets by the catcher. It's a wild pitch. Going to second is Tom York. Here's the 1-0. Called strike. It's 1-1. Here's the 1-1. Inside, 2-1. Here's the 2-1. That's high, 2-2. Or that's a called strike, 2-2. The 2-2 pitch. Outside, ball 3. And the count is full. The payoff pitch. Grounded foul. We do it again. The payoff pitch. Grounded over to third. Third baseman's got it. The throw. It's a bad throw. And Pinkham reaches via an E5. It's another error. Going to third is Tom York. E5 is the third baseman, Harry Shaver. That's his third of the night. He's made all 3 errors for Fort Wayne this evening. That brings up Dickie Pierce. He is 1 for 4. First pitch to Pierce. That's a called strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1. Grounded foul, 0-2. The 0-2 pitch. Outside, 1-2. Runners on the corners here, 2 outs. 1-2 pitch, incoming. Shot into the, that's a good stop. It's a bad throw. It's an E6. Going to second is Ed Pinkham. Scoring is Tom York. And shortstop Dickie Flowers makes the error. And this is the inning that will not end. Dick Higham due up. 2 for 3. First and second, 2 outs. Here's the first pitch. That's low, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch. That's lined right at the second baseman. He's got it. And the side is retired. 1 run on 1 hit. And they left 2 on base. We go to the bottom of the 9th. It's 7-4. We're going to take a 90-second timeout. We'll be back with more in a minute and a half. All right, welcome back. Bottom 9th in Fort Wayne, Indiana. 3-4-5 spot due up. Jimmy Wood settles in 1 for 4. First pitch to Wood. Philly leading by 3, 3 outs away from a massive win. That's high ball 1. Here's the 1-0. Line foul into the seats. It's 1-1. The 1-1. Swung on and missed. That's 1-2. The 1-2. Inside ball 3. Or ball 3. Yeah, ball 2. Sorry. Here's the even count pitch. Grounded over to second. On to first. That's in time. 1 away. That brings up Harry Schaefer. He's 1 for 4. First pitch to Schaefer. Called strike on the inside part of the plate. Here's the 1-0. Or the 0-1, sorry. That's lined into right. And that just lands foul. It'll be 0-2. The 0-2 pitch. Popped it up. And that's going to land foul. We'll do it again. 0-2 still. Here's the 0-2. Line deep into right. That's rocketing back there. But in the warning track, the right fielder makes the catch. And that's 2 away. That was Neely Phelps who had to go a long way for that one, but he brings it in. And that brings up Steve King. He's 1 for 4. Fort Wayne down to the final out. That's high, 1-0. 1-0. Is popped up in foul territory. Third baseman's there. He makes the catch, and the ball game is over.
Allegiance to no entity. I intend to live by my own code now.
Thank you for the raid, big man on campus. How was the Madden, my guy? Final score in this one: the Philadelphia Athletics walk into Fort Wayne, Indiana, and pick up a big win. It's the Athletics 7, the Kekiongas 4. It was a short stream vibe. We are almost done here as well. It's time for our post-game show. Welcome in, viewers. You're watching the 1871 season in Out of the Park Baseball. Tonight's post-game show brought to you by Big Man on Campus. If you're not following Chuck, give him a follow. College football coach, NCAA college football, Madden, Football Manager, Stellaris, shit-talking, whatever it is. Give him a follow. He's a great dude. Chuck. Big shout out to Chuck. Big Man on Campus sponsors tonight's post-game show. Right. If you're new here, my name's Benekage. We play all sorts of stuff, one of which is out of the park baseball. We play FM, we play Action Taimanen, we play Pangya, we play F1, we play Dead or Alive, we play it all. Rising Nations, Hearts of Iron. We just finished this game and Out of the Park, which means I just scored it. I got a scorebook with me, but it means I have to do everyone's actual final stats. So here we go, starting with the visiting Philadelphia Athletics. John Hatfield, 5 at-bats, 3 hits. He scored 3 runs. He stole a base. One of those hits was a triple. Scott Hastings, he had 4 at-bats. He had 1 hit. He scored 1 run. He had an RBI. And, he scored 2 runs. 2 runs for Scott Hastings. He had an RBI and a sack. Tom York, he had 5 at-bats. He had 1 hit. He scored 1 run. And he had an RBI. Ed Pinkham. Pinkham had 3 at-bats. He did not have a hit. He had a base on balls, and he had a sack, and it was an RBI. Dickie Pierce. Pierce had 5 at-bats. He had 1 hit, and he scored 1 run, and he made 2 fielding errors. Dick Higgum had 4 at-bats. He had 2 hits, one of which was a double. He was caught stealing because he was hit by the pitch once. He also made 2 fielding errors. Charlie Bierman. He had 4 at-bats. He had 2 hits. He committed a fielding error. Neely Phelps had 4 at-bats. He did not have a hit. Bobby Matthews had 4 at-bats. He did not have a hit. Final total at-bats for the Philadelphia Athletics. 22, 26, 30, 34, 38 at-bats. 3, 6, 7. That doesn't seem right. Hold on. 3, 5, 6. Oh, yeah. There we go. 7 runs. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 10 hits. That's correct. No doubles. No, 1 double, 1 triple, 1 base on balls. No strikeouts. 1 sack. No, 2 sacks. It's 1 stolen base. 2 sacks. 3 RBIs. Right. We'll come back to the pitching stats in a moment. For the Fort Wayne Kekiongas, Dickie Flowers, 5 at-bats, 2 hits, 1 fielding error. Count Sensendorfer, 5 at-bats, 3 hits, one of which was a double. He scored 1 run. Jimmy Wood, 5 at bats, 1 hit. It was a triple. It was an RBI triple, and he scored a run. Here's the big stat line for you. Harry Schaefer, 5 at bats, 1 hit, 1 RBI, 3 fielding errors. Steve King, 5 at bats, 1 hit, 1 run. Fergie Malone, 4 at bats, 1 hit. Wes Fizzler, 4 at bats, 2 hits, 1 run, and one of those hits was a triple. Dave Birdsall, 3 at bats, no hits, 1 strikeout. George Setland, 4 at bats, no hits. Charlie Smith, 1 at bat, no hits. Total at bats for the Fort Wayne Kekiongas: 29, 33, 36, 41 at bats for the Fort Wayne Kekiongas. Runs 4. Hits 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11. That's correct. No doubles, but 2 triples. No base on balls. No stolen bases. No sacrifices. 2 RBIs. 4 fielding errors. Philadelphia, by the way, they made 6 fielding errors. That has 5. I have 6. Oh no, that 5 is correct. I read a base on balls as a fielding error. My bad. 5. Right, now for the pitching statistics very quickly. Bobby Matthews, he's going to get credited with the way he pitched all 9 innings. I have his pitch count at 125. That's correct. 1 base on balls. No base on balls. Sorry, no base on balls. 1 strikeout is what it was. 11 hits, 4 runs. How many of them were earned? 3 of them were earned. Matthews improves to 9-6 on the season. George Zetland, 9 innings pitched. I have his pitch count at 105. Base on balls, I have 1. Strikeouts, none. Hits, 10. Runs, 7. Earned runs, just 1. And he gets credited with the loss. He gave up less earned runs and still gets credited with the loss, because his team couldn't field. I say that, but then Philadelphia actually committed more errors. Just baseball's a funny old game. And that's what you basically come to learn. Right. Let's leave the game. Scorebook is done. In the other game, the New York Mutuals down to the Washington Olympics by a score of 6-2. New York improves to 7-7. Washington 7-11. We're going to finish today. Let's bring up the standings. Chicago still leading the National League at 8-6, but that loss pushes Fort Wayne a full game back at 8-8. The New York Mutuals have leapfrogged us into third. They're 7-7, really joint second with Fort Wayne at 1 game back. We are 2 games back at 9-11. Troy Haymakers are very much out of it. 4-15. They are 6.5 games back. In the American League, the win keeps Philadelphia in the playoff hunt. Boston 10-2, still won 9 straight, still dominating the division. They are 2 games ahead of Cleveland, who are 9-5. Philadelphia improved to 10-7 to pull 2.5 games behind Boston. The loss for Washington pushes them to 7-11. They are 6 games back. The next game and the final game of June is going to be the Troy Haymakers at 4-15, traveling to New York for the 7-7 New York Mutuals. Troy 0-8 on the road this season. Then we get into July, and that's a big matchup, the return leg between Fort Wayne and Philadelphia. Rockford coming up against Chicago. That's a massive game for us, because they're the division leaders. So if we could beat Chicago, then we're still in it. But if we lose to Chicago, we fall 3 games back with 11 to play. It is a 32-game season, and some teams are over halfway now. Rockford's over halfway. Troy's over halfway. Philadelphia's now over halfway. Washington is over halfway. So not much longer to go. We're going to be getting into, when I get back from Italy, we're going to be getting into July. Should be a good one. A lot of games to cover in July. Once we get through July, though, it'll be the home stretch. I think July is going to be when we get the first actual mathematically eliminated team. I think that's when we're going to see us. Because, I mean, that's probably going to be Troy. Unless Boston continue to just dominate. But Troy could be the first mathematically eliminated team, and we could get that in July. No need to worry about magic numbers yet or anything like that. Still plenty to play. But that's going to do it. Big thanks to everybody that came by. Thank you to Thomas for the 6-month sub, man. That's crazy. Thank you so much, Thomas. Thank you to Patwitz for the 3-stream watch stream. Thank you to Big Man on Campus for the raid, my guy. Appreciate it, man. Let me just write you down in the book so I have it for prosperity's sake, right? Jeez. Let me just do that real quick. Campus 88. And I did shout you out, so big check mark next to your asterisk. Right. Thank you for stream betting as always, and you're welcome, man. Thank you so much, Thomas. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you to all the viewers who were here, including but not limited to Big Man on Campus, Zapaggio Bionico, Raz DeBeer, DM Stewart 1981, Christo Poles, Thomas Rolls, Heindo, Bobby FCG Mass, Hludu, Patwitz, Duck God of Quack, Skull Crusher, Kavacom, and Latte Anarchist. I'm going to try to raid somebody who's a bit crazy, but she's also, like, a lot of fun. We might not have I don't know what her settings are like, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to raid her. But if you're watching this on the YouTube, thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care.